again, we'll play in real time. Let's just have a look at your elbows sitting out the side. Okay, so first thing I'll say is let's tuck the elbows in. Again, think about drawing them back so the chest is up, head's up. And talking about that sideways movement again, if the arms are coming out the side, they're tracking in a line across the body. So I guess it's the equivalent in swimming where you're crossing over. Okay, so energy is going, I'll just keep play through. Energy is going in a diagonal line across the body, and we want it to be going straight up and straight down, or forward and back. Okay.
Who's that? Oh, he's coming for the beer.
Alright, so the other thing we can notice here is just have a look at the position of your feet when they land. So they're turned out probably 15 degrees. Alright, so when we think about the power and controlling where the direction of the force is through the body, we want everything to be in straight lines. It's alright, probably acceptable range is about 7 degrees play. Okay, so if you imagine where your cleats are on your bike, I'd be almost certain your foot wouldn't be turned out that much. So when you run, we want to try and replicate that same power. Do you ever have problems around the hips and the knees riding? Is it riding or running?
Running.
Okay.
And hips.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much what this looks like is there's some real tightness through the hips that isn't allowing you to get that lift up. And if we just see that position there where you're collapsing down to that side. Okay, so again, that's a little bit of glute med strength on this side. But also when we talk about that screening test that we did, getting the heel to lift up, we see how low your recovery heel is, and particularly on the left, how that has to swing out to the side. Yep. So because we collapse down on that right side, we're forced to swing that left side. We're touching on with the heel and the foot's turned out there. So I think that's one of the most important changes for you to make, is to put some stability into those hips so that you're able to stay up nice and tall when you run, and then it's like you've got more control over the direction of your energy and your force. And again, if you have that image of Declan in your mind where there was just no collapse there, that's a start to be able to think about being in straight lines. But then obviously the second thing is what you do away from running, and that's your sort of strength maintenance stuff that we will go through. Okay. Just have a look at the arm carriage. So the hands, if we just watch the hands, let alone the elbows, so they sort of they swing from the outside to the inside. There's not a whole lot of sort of vertical up and down. One thing that you can think about is to try and get that connection and the timing when you run, is that as this leg drives into the ground, this leg is going to lift you up. So as you're pushing off the ground, you're getting lift up with that whole side of your body. So the right axis hits the ground, pushes off, the right arm lifts up, and same again on the other side, where the left leg hits the ground, the left arm lifts up. Okay, so that's the sort of feeling you want, and then it's almost like you've got these arrows that are just driving all your energy up in that position, and then same again in that position. It's another arrow driving up. So I guess if we look at the touch on the ground there, we want that hand to be going from there up to here rather than into there. Okay, if that makes sense. Yep. So again, we'll talk about arm carriage a little bit later, but that's just going to help to keep things tracking in a straight line. And then okay, so again, you're quite upright. So if we just drew a line through your body, that's a terrible line, but draw a line through your body, you're very straight. So what we want to be able to do is have the strength through the midsection here to be able to almost press the weight forward. So you're leaning out the chest, and it's like we're getting our momentum going forward now. So if we can imagine that your force is going into the ground and coming back up, we want that force to go into the ground and come back up. So let's, from running vertically straight up and down, if we can lean forward, all of a sudden our force is going back in that direction. So that's sort of the end game for you, to have the strength through the midsection, to just trust your body to lean forward. Alright, and then just having a look at the recovery height of the leg. That left leg, again, a negative angle there. And same on the right leg there. Okay, so aside from some sort of glute stability work, we want to be able to switch on these glutes and this hamstring so that as you touch on the ground, the contraction and the fire is almost instant. So it's just click straight away, and we're getting that snap feeling like you're lifting your legs straight off the ground. It's not like you're running on hot coals and you're trying to tippy toe, but it's like you've got the strength to absorb in your body and basically take some of that perpetual motion into the next stride, rather than hit the ground, pause, wait for your body to absorb the energy, and then have to try and deliver that force somehow. Okay? Yep.